Hello, my name is Eunhyuk Lee, and I will be your instructor for the dental photography course at Dental Bean. For all of you esteemed teachers and professionals who have recognized the critical importance of dental clinical photography and have come to attend this lecture, some among you might be beginners, just embarking on your journey to capture your first images. Conversely, there will also be those who are already engaged in taking photographs but feel a sense of dissatisfaction with their current results and are eager to enhance their skills. Unfortunately, comprehensive opportunities to systematically learn about dental clinical photography have been scarce. Consequently, many of us have often found ourselves relying heavily on the experiential stories of those around us or fragmented, isolated pieces of information when attempting to take photographs. In the early days, I too went through a significant amount of trial and error for these very reasons, and I distinctly remember feeling quite stuck and overwhelmed. The very first consideration that often arises is the choice of your equipment selection. There might be some of you who are just about to acquire equipment for the very first time, or perhaps others who are currently contemplating whether to change your equipment in order to further enhance your existing photographs. Equipment can be broadly divided into three categories: the camera, the lens, and the lighting. There are indeed other aspects we must contemplate concerning the camera. You might find yourself contemplating whether taking photos with a smartphone is sufficient, or if opting for a dedicated digital camera would be the more appropriate choice. And if you've decided on a digital camera, then you're faced with the choice of picking either a DSLR camera or a mirrorless camera, which is another significant decision to ponder. And once you've made your choice between a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, the next important decision you'll face is whether to opt for a full-frame camera body or a crop sensor camera, which features a comparatively smaller sensor. This is another area that often causes a great deal of consideration and thought. You must select a camera that suits your clinical situation and the specific purpose of the photos you intend to capture, and I will be here to assist you through every step of this process. After you have chosen a camera, the next step is selecting a lens. There's a vast array of lenses available, categorized by focal length, intended application, or fundamental operating principles. Among these, you'll find an appropriate lens specifically suited for various dental clinical photography scenarios, and notably, one that seamlessly pairs with the particular camera body you have already selected. I will now proceed to explain this entire aspect in thorough detail for you. The very last piece of equipment we'll discuss is lighting. This is a component I personally consider to be of paramount importance, because there are so many options when it comes to lighting, and also various accessories such as light modifiers or brackets that can be utilized in conjunction with them. The entire selection process becomes exceptionally challenging and difficult. This is also an area where many of you may experience a lot of trial and error. I will share my experience and insights into the various lighting systems I've utilized over time. I'll thoroughly explain the fundamental principles of lighting and outline the most appropriate methods for employing illumination within dental photography. My goal is to help you avoid unnecessary trial and error, sidestep needless financial outlays, and ultimately enable you to achieve your specific photographic objectives, aligning with the images you aim to capture, and I will assist you in selecting the most appropriate lighting equipment and devices that are well suited for your specific clinical photography requirements. After choosing the right equipment, it's essential to properly set up your camera. You will need to make sure the camera is correctly configured. When you apply the camera setting values learned from a specific lecture, or the shutter speed, aperture value, ISO, white balance, or color temperature found in a particular document, such as a research paper or book, directly to your camera. If you are fortunate enough, you might capture a photograph with appropriate exposure and brightness. However, in many instances, the captured photograph might be either excessively bright or overly dim. Occasionally, you might get a photo with appropriate colors, yet frequently the image appears excessively yellow, overly blue, or simply unnatural. I'll delve into the reasons behind these issues and elaborate on the methods you can employ to effectively address and resolve them. Additionally, there are specific detailed settings that are appropriate for dental photography. I will thoroughly explain how to properly configure these settings to ensure you can capture images with excellent color fidelity and exceptional quality, ultimately assisting you in producing superior photographs. Now that you've got your proper equipment all correctly set up, the next step is to start capturing your images. When performing intraoral photography, certain essential tools are needed, and I'll describe the principles guiding the thoughtful selection of these particular implements. Moreover, when we actually take photographs, there are various checkpoints and guiding principles that must be observed to achieve images of superior clarity and enhanced quality, while simultaneously maintaining consistent angles and compositional elements. I will now elaborate on these specific aspects. Therefore, following these guiding principles, I will elaborate in detail on the process of capturing standardized photographs, such as the 5-segment series, black background images of both the maxilla and mandible, or quadrant view photographs. The primary context in which we take these kinds of photos is naturally within a clinical environment. Consequently, I'll also be explaining how to efficiently take pictures during the various intervals between treatments. Furthermore, I will elucidate the expertise required to capture photographs with creative elements, much like those displayed within the realm of intraoral photography. Now, besides intraoral photography, portrait photography, which is taking photos of the patient's upper body, is also a very important part. When taking these upper body shots, how you use lighting is also important. I will explain how to effectively use good lighting within the restricted environment of a dental operatory and how to perform portrait photography that aligns with the objectives of dental clinical photography, specifically for documentation and communication purposes. This ensures high-quality results tailored to our specific needs, even within a limited setting. Furthermore, I'll elaborate on the techniques and expertise required to imbue these close-up photographs with a truly artistic and expressive quality. Alright, laboratory photography capturing images of dental prosthetics is an integral aspect of dental clinical photography. Similar to the variety in dental prosthetics, there are also diverse shooting techniques and ways to effectively utilize lighting. Therefore, I will demonstrate and elucidate the optimal methods for capturing images of these various dental prosthetics. Lastly, I'll introduce several key steps in the editing process for maintaining a consistent composition. This will allow you to present the photos you've captured effectively and continuously for presentations or marketing, ensuring both coherence and visual attractiveness. So, we've covered numerous vital aspects, including selecting appropriate equipment for dental photography, accurately configuring camera settings, mastering shooting techniques for intraoral photography, portraiture, and laboratory photography, and finally, refining images through post-processing. I have thoroughly strived to incorporate all the vital and necessary information that I believe you, as dental professionals, ought to be well informed about for effective dental photography. I also made an effort to include content that addresses the questions and frustrations you may have had while taking photos in the past, and which you might have wanted to ask about. Well then, I will see you all in the main part of the lecture. Thank you very much for your attention.